This video was recorded in front of a live virtual audience.
Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to my channel. Today's an interesting topic, and I've been asked this several times in the comment section. I've been DM'd these questions as well, and I wonder, I mean, is it that important of a topic? But apparently it is. And then I started thinking about it, and actually, as a social analysis and study, it is relevant. So here goes. Should we, meaning anybody, should you, me, I, we, befriend our luxury sales associate or not? Before we get to the nitty-gritty, don't forget to thumb up this video and subscribe to my channel here on YouTube. You can also push the join button next to the subscription button and become a member today. Gain access to extra perks. You can also join me on Patreon, superdacob all spelled together. Gain access to extra perks there as well. Thank you to all my members and patrons who have already pledged. Without you, the fashion bunker would not be here, darling. Thank you also to my co-reviewers who are live in the chats. This video is being filmed live. I live stream every Saturday. Join me. Everybody's invited to come and partake in the gargantuan live streams that go on for 10 hours on end every Saturday. That's where all of these topics are recorded and filmed. Stephanie says, oh, good topic. KDF already has an answer. Should you befriend your luxury sales associate? KDF says, no. Orange Peel says, I think not. It is a business relationship after all. Holy Grace says, video. KDF says, great topic. Gwenly says, you can be friendly, but not super friends. Stephanie says, I think being friends would muddle the professional relationship. Me and my boat says, keeping it professional in my opinion. Stephanie says, but I think it's worth being friends or at least friendly with your hairstylist. LOL. Right, we're talking about luxury sales associates. Jack says, if something involves a transaction and a hierarchy, any friendship involved is vulnerable to break down. Daniel says, I would be very cautious, but if a friendship develops, so be it. But it is imperative to remember the boundaries between friendship and commerce. Donnie says, friendly business relationship, yes. Friendship, no. Silala says, definitely no. Age-old adage, don't mix business and personal. Parasamaro says, be emotionally intelligent and have friends, and also great sales associates. KDF says, yes, very friendly and even apparently generous, but not boundaried. Yes, but no says, I've never had a dedicated sales associate and I don't want one. I was treated very well at 31 Rue Cambon, but see no need for a dedicated sales associate. Daniel says, I would also be cautious about being personal friends with my doctor or dentist. Rizology says, I don't know what to say about this topic, but I do know that I love you, Dacob. Oh, thank you so much. Love from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Love you too. Thank you. Holy Grace says, here is my 2 cents. Becoming friends is dangerous. They want you to think, that. So you spend more money. Keep it business and professional and in your favor, not theirs. Oh, that's very, very strict. Oh, Holy Grace. Oh, you are ruthless, girl. Cosmo Bark says, this is going to be a good one. I try to keep it all business. Prada Darling 2001 says, straight up no, because at the end of the day, they are there to sell you product. And plus, if you're spending X amount of money, of course they're going to be nice to you. Yes, but no says, I suppose it depends on the situation and whether you intend to cultivate a long-term relationship. Leslie says, oh, here we go. Stephanie says, Holy Grace, I agree. Plus, once you think you are friends, you might start expecting them to do more for you than what they actually can. And I would like to add, and what they actually want to do. Because there's something, we're going to get to it. It's a very tricky relationship, says Norris23, to navigate if it's a friendship and business. My CC88 says, I agree with you, Holy Grace. Jesus says, it's called friends with benefits for a reason. Victor says, don't be friendly, be flirty for extra perks. Oh, Victor, that's a good one. Gwenly says to Victor, LOL, what if they call HR on you? Ooh, bing. The shade of it all. Prada Darling says, it's good to be friendly. Share some parts of your life with them and have that relationship. But you have to remind yourself that at the end of the day, it is a business relationship. Leslie says, friendship, no, the turnover is extraordinary. Daniel says, for me, it is an academic argument. I don't buy enough luxury goodies for a work relationship to develop. However, it could be an issue for a regular shopper. Julie Scott says, people should only become friends with people that they actually want to become friends with. Befriending someone because maybe they can get you the bag you want is just using them. It's also very political. Don't think that all the politicians are friendly to each other because they like each other. It's to gain votes and access to other things. That's how society works. This is not something that only applies to shopping in luxury shops and trying to gain access to extra perks. It's political. It's something that you gain certain behaviors or certain behavioral patterns, open certain doors and others shut them. So it is political. Don't ever forget. This is also political, whether we like it or not. My CC88 says, my doctor is super friendly, which I find is sometimes weird, but we have the same sense of dark humor. Well, a doctor is a doctor. We're talking about luxury sales associates. Holy Grace says, the sales associates in most stores know me, but I have not become friends. They only message me sometimes, but I come in and buy on my own terms and timeline. I am under the radar. Norris23 says, I think it's a relationship where the buyer must be amazing enough to be considered a friend, but without actually being friends. Nikki R says, no, the stripper doesn't like you. No sex work shame, just a joke. Stephanie says to Daniel, I am wary of sharing my personal life with my sales associate because at the end of the day, they are just doing their job, not to listen to your problems. Candy Fluff says, yeah, treat them like a professional while they are at work. Tom says, it's a business relationship. I'm only friends with one sales associate and he's an ex. An ex-sales associate or an ex-lover? Or an ex-sales associate of you, but still a sales associate. KDF says, don't share life events and expect perks. Yes, but no says, any genuine friendship like you have with your sales associate will transcend the corporate interest of the house and you gain real insight and knowledge from the sales associate. Yes, but no also says, Dacob, you're absolutely correct about the relationship being political. Of course. Kamikyu says, it's a business relationship. You can be friendly, but it's not a real friendship until there's no money involved. Tom says, lover. Oh, Tom, so he was your ex-lover. Well, that's a whole other can of worms, honey. Honey. Oh, honey, the stories I could tell. Ooh, cha. Claudia MK says, yes, I try to get to know everyone. Sometimes true friendships develop. Yes, but no says, I'd personally be appalled by a forward sales associate. Professionalism is extremely attractive in a sales associate. Sarah Wolf says, the sales associate are not stupid. I think they know exactly who is really kind by heart or just want to get some extra perks. I treat them with respect, and when we vibe, this is great. Daniel says, the thing to remember is, would you be friends with them if you had met them in personal life? Is there a bond beyond the product they are selling? Tom says, he's still my essay at Louis Vuitton. So when you come in, you're kind of, hey, how you doing today? Wanna help me out while I try out some pants in the dressing room? Well, I guess he's an ex, so I guess that's it. Horibunga says, people will know if you are sincere for a friendship or want it only to gain something benefit from it. Right. Candy Fluff says, I want friendship from my friends. I could care less where they work. BB says, YouTube has made it a trend to have an essay just to show off what my essay got me. So they are doing a job. They are not there for you. Stop getting them in trouble. My CC88 says, treat them with respect and kindness always. You don't need to share your personal life secrets for a bag. Pickle Mars says, sales associates make commission? No? Depending what they, in luxury boutiques, yes. And according to what they sell, they make more or less or none commission. Daniel says, Dacob, I love your Mae West interpretation. Why, thank you, Daniel. Oh. Kevin says, how do you politely turn down a friendship offer if you were an essay? You simply say, your purchase history is just not big enough. BB says, I agree. Donnie, okay, everybody said, yes, but no, says, the savvy essay will have an intuition for the long-term customer, but maintain the house's reputation by treating all customers with genuine kindness. Tom says, if we're both single, we've been known to extend certain benefits. Otherwise, he knows the pieces I want, and I know his coffee and sushi order. Okay, right. Well, thank you for all your input. Okay, now let me share with you my 5 cents. So, having worked in all fields of fashion, from the production, sales, PR, marketing, brand communication. I mean, when working in a boutique, been there, done that. There is a very interesting type of scenario that happens from what people want from you and also what people want to give you that you might want or not want in return. That is very fascinating. Then you have the other side, me being the customer. So I've been in both shoes. So I can tell you, it's very interesting. I want to say, I can tell you from personal experience, friendships were born. And they were great. They still are. So it's possible. I can also say, in some cases, trying to approach a friendship with a sales associate like went really sour, really bad. It went really bad, not because our reciprocal interests clashed, not really, but just because the expectations were just very different. I befriended a sales associate not because I wanted perks, but because I really liked the person. But the person was flaky. So they were emotionally unstable. I'm a very stable person. So when somebody's like all over the place today, tomorrow they're all like composed, but then they disappear for 3 weeks and then they're back. Like that don't go with me because that's not me. So, you know, you kind of disappear from my life and you're not to be seen. And then 4 months later, you write me like nothing ever happened. I can do it once or twice, but then we're done. Because that's not my way of being and dealing with people. I have had also experiences where if I worked in a boutique and somebody came in that we started talking and really hitting it off perfectly, like, I don't know, just little things like starting to just a comment on the garment and that we both kind of found the same detail interesting or appalling about it, laughing about it, and then slowly shifting into, oh, what do you do? Sharing more like, oh, that's interesting, what you do in your life. And then it goes from there, and then maybe you make a joke and you laugh about the same thing, and then that person buys or doesn't buy something that day, then comes back then they're gone because you're not friends yet. And then 2 months later, they come back again. And again, you hit it off perfectly. And then slowly with time, you develop something. It has happened to me in the past, and it's amazing. And these people didn't want anything from me other than friendship. They didn't want any perks of any kind in the store. So again, and me as a customer, I don't know. I'm thinking about Chanel in particular, you know, because that's a place I really like. And it's so funny with Hermès as well, because with Hermès, it's the sales associate at Hermès that really wanted to get to know me better and invited me to some private stuff. And not because, oh, well, I don't care for Birkins and Kellys. So I said, no, I went to the places and it was really nice to get to know this person. But I just felt like, well, we are kind of also very different. I don't think a friendship can be born because we don't share the same interests, but it was so sweet of that person to include me in their life. And with Chanel, it's a bit difficult because I'm also professional, I can very well split up. Okay, now we're talking business. Now we're talking friendship. I can because I'm very stable, I can very clearly separate the two. So I have become very friendly with some Chanel sales associates, but then not because, oh, get me the bag I want. Because they know that I deal with different sales associates anyway. I can get the bag in another boutique in another country. I travel all the time anyway. So it's not like I have this one option, this one boutique, and if I don't get it there, I'll never get it anyway. So it's like kind of like, and my attitude is also always like, oh, I really want that piece, but if you can't get it, you can't get it for me. It's okay. I'll try somewhere. It's fine. But the thing is with the sales associates at Chanel, so the ones that I've worked with, that I've kind of become friendly with, it can turn sour because Chanel, not because of them, but because of Chanel quality issues. Because when I come back to Chanel with a quality issue, that's when shit goes down. Because then they go into that mode of like, oh, well, it's not a big deal. And I'm like, oh no, it's a big deal. This needs to be rectified. And that's where they go, like, they feel hurt almost, you know, because it's kind of a lot of work for them. I'm like, well, sorry, but your company doesn't deliver the quality. So yeah, you're going to have to compile the report. You're going to have to send the bag back. You're going to have to generate a voucher. It's a lot of work for them, but I'm like, you're going to have to do it because there's a flaw. So when something like that happens, I almost feel like it's the sales associate that tries to make it sound like I should do them a favor and let it go. And I'm like, no. I paid full price for this. There's no mercy there, honestly, because the brand shows no mercy. Neither does the brand show any mercy to me, the customer, nor does it show any mercy to the worker, to the sales associate. You know, they keep cutting their commissions, their percentages, their bonuses, blah, 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 blah. Like, there's no mercy. There is no mercy. And I am very strict when it comes to that. So a lot of people get scared, you know, so they don't really think that it's easy to be friends with me because I am so strict. But I see it differently. I see it as, well, with me, you always know what time it is. I'm not going to be flaky, not telling you to your face what I really, really feel. You can always talk to me no matter how angry I am. I'm still always capable of kind of extrapolating myself out of myself and analyzing the situation from outside, and you could still talk to me. I don't lose control and go all cuckoo because I'm angry. Even when I'm super angry, I still reason. There's a part of me that remains very focused and reasonable. So it's just that I dissect a situation. I'm very analytical and very methodical and very scientific about it. So people sometimes are just, you know, they're just emotional and they can't handle, because to them it's just like, I'm hurt, bye, drama, you know, and I'm like, okay, you're hurt. Tell me why. You know, and it's kind of that type of approach when combined with luxury fashion in particular and shopping, and you have the sales associate, which is also a connection between you and the brand. It's like little things like, oh, do they give you an extra catalog? Oh, where are they going to, you know, are they going to, little things like say happy birthday because they know it's your birthday or not. Been there, that happened, you know, and then you realize who your friends are. So it's about a realization. Why do I want to say realization? It's just a realization. There's only one Lee, not two Lees. I guess there's only one Lee because if there were two Lees, it would be a friendship. But if you're all alone, you're all alone. So it's a realization. So it's not that I'm seeking out a friend. It's like the friend, if it's a friend, it will appear to it. A friend appears in front of you, and it becomes clear with time whether or not an acquaintance, a professional relationship, or what have you, turns into friendship. Only time will tell. Actively seeking for friends is very needy, not a good picture, not a good image. So you're actively seeking friendship to a sales associate. They're going to sniff out that the jig is up pretty soon because they're going to be like, why are you actively looking to be friends with me? It seems like you want something from me. People are very suspicious. Even more so people in higher position, not in higher positions in terms of CEOs of a company, but like if they work for a high-end, super coveted brand, luxury brand like Chanel or Hermès, they're going to be very skeptical of your intentions because they're going to be like, yeah, everybody wants to be friends with me because I have access to certain things. And this is where you got to be careful, where you also got to play it cool. Again, everything is political. So you, even if you want to or not want to really authentically become friends with one of these people because you're authentically interested in them, still, you met them for the first time within a boutique setting. That means you met them within a professional setting. That means that friendship is not in the picture. It just isn't. It can be born out of that picture, but first and foremost, because you met in a professional setting, you got to play it cool and professional. Play it cool and professional. As long as they play it cool and professional, they should be the ones to make the first step. Why am I saying this? Because it's like with animals. Okay, why am I saying this? I'm not saying the sales associates are animals, but follow me here. You are entering a boutique, okay, where the sales associate works. That is their territory. Just like if you enter a home where a dog is, the dog is going to bark at you or the dog is going to be suspicious at you. They don't know who you are. So what's the first thing you got to do? You got to play it cool with the dog. You can't be all, oh my God, hysterical. The dog is going to go bananas. So you enter their space, you bow down. No, you don't bow down. But the first thing you do is you can talk to them. You say, well, hello. I always say hello to a dog when I first meet it. You put your hand out and you let them do that. You let them sniff you. You let them come close to you, lick you, see what they want to do with you. You show them your good intentions. Okay, because you're entering their space. So they then decide whether or not they want to approach you, how they want to approach you. And then if they feel comfortable with you and they start opening up and cuddling and stuff like that, then you can, you know, a relationship can be born out of it. I see it in the same way, figuratively speaking, when you enter a boutique. Like it's like they sniff you. You enter, they kind of try to figure out who you are. It's up to you to be all, yeah. Like, you know, you can be an asshole. You could be, you know, that asshole that comes in and it's like, give me that, you know, acting up like a rich bitch, a spoiled one at that, terrible. So that's not a way to deal. Or you could be humble about it. Enter, acknowledge the fact that you're entering into their territory. It's their territory, okay? So you're not there to mark their territory. You are there to visit their territory. And give them the time to acclimate to you and play it cool. And every time you visit, be respectful of their space, be respectful of their time, which is just normal. We're human beings. We're not animals after all. See what I did there? Animal, but not animal. And then with time, if it's meant to be, it will happen. the relationship will blossom. It just takes a lot of time. No friendship was born in a day. And I'm not talking about friendships that we made when we were kids in high school. You know, when you're really, really young, kindergarten, elementary school, high school, whatever, university, you know, the older you get, the harder it becomes to get friends, to make friends. So they always say your childhood friends are the friends for life, even though you kind of go away, move to different parts of the world, and you don't see each other for 20 years. They say childhood friends, even if you meet up after 20 years of not seeing each other, it's still going to feel like no day has passed since the last time you saw each other. That doesn't happen when you're all grown up in your 20s, 30s, 40s, and you start entering a certain boutique and you start getting to know people. You're old for a quick friendship because you've developed your own identity much more. You know much more what you want, what you don't want. When you're a kid, you still don't know nothing really. So you're discovering the world together with other kids, and that's why you have these bonds. That's why that's why we often mistake the concept of friendship with the fact that friendship actually mutates. The way we approach new friendships throughout the decades, throughout our life, changes. So we often tend to make the mistake of thinking when we say friendship, we immediately think about the friendship we had when we were kids with our friends when they were also kids, but that's not what happens when you get older and when you start entering luxury boutiques and you start to get to know people who are also older who work in these luxury boutiques. You're already all grown up. You already have a full-blown ego, full-blown character developed or still in development, but still way further developed than it was when you were 5. And so do they. So it's much more difficult, even if you were meeting outside of a boutique, luxury boutique, sales associate / customer relationship type of environment setting, even if you were just to meet up by accident in a bar, sitting, just starting to talk about futile things, it's still hard to become friends. Even outside of a professional environment, it's still hard to become friends after a certain age. So bearing that in mind, that it's super difficult to become friends with anybody after a certain age, really, add to that the level of you're in a professional environment in a boutique, it makes it almost close to impossible. Okay, so that's why if you authentically are interested in that person, you got to play it cool, be nice, maybe bring them a little gift next time just to acknowledge the fact they were so sweet with you. Show them through the type of questions you ask that you're interested authentically in them, not just in the bag you want to score. And that's how. And it can take forever and you might get bored because you're already, you're older too. So you're less patient because you're like, what am I doing here? Been running after this person for 4 years and they're still not really reactive. So you get pissed at a certain point. Then they won't even know why all of a sudden you're angry at them and you don't want to work with them anymore because they don't know the mental film you're on, the trip you've been on for a year or two while you were trying to befriend them because they're not on the same wavelength as you. So what I want to say is, ultimately, no, you should not befriend your sales associate because simply by asking yourself the question, should I befriend my sales associate, it means that it's already too complicated. A true friendship should never have a question posed and be like, should I or should I not? If it's bound to happen, it will happen organically. And even if that organically means it's going to take a year or two until it really blossoms into full-blown friendship, I think it can only happen if you don't question it. I think it can only happen if you don't really have to ask yourself, oh, should it happen? A friendship has to be natural. It has to just grow on you, and before you know it, you're friends. And you don't even remember how you became friends, why you are friends, but you just are. And so that type of friendship is a true friendship in my modest opinion, and I think it can happen in any field with anybody, but it has to be spontaneous, natural, without there ever being a question, oh, should I become friends or not? That's my take on this. And everything else, all the other active choices you make, it's political at the end of the day. Like we said at the beginning of the video, just saying. So, how's it going, you guys? What do you think? Orange Peel says, I agree with, Jizzes says, hyper-intelligent people have only a handful of friends, or none, says Jizzes. And Orange Peel says, I agree, Jizzes. Yanasi says, just came to subscribe. Thank you for subscribing. My CC88 says, if a friendship naturally cured, that's nice. Yeah, that's the only real friendship, you guys. If it's not natural, then it's manipulated. If it's not natural, then it's artificial. And if it's artificial, something is wrong. Paris says, it is so hard to make new friends as you grow up. The older you get, the harder it gets. Take it from a 237-year-old vampire. Difficult. Very difficult. My CC88 says, I don't trust people easily. That comes with age as well. The more experience we have, the less we trust. Stephanie says, it's definitely harder to make friends as an adult. Very much so. Tina Yap says, I'm not actively looking for a sales associate as a friend. I'm just nice to the people who are nice to me. And if we vibe, that's when we become friends. That's perfect. That's the right approach. Paris says, totally. Jack says, she just got back from Japan genetically modifying fish. What are we talking about? Oh, I'm still friends with my bestie from school. Known her for 7 years. She just got back from Japan, genetically modifying fish. Oh, that's an interesting job. Jesus says, oh no, wait. Leslie Craven calls me Coach Dacob. Jesus says, essays are always nice to me. Again, probably because of the height. Because they're scared because you're so tall? Or because they're just like, oh, hello, gorgeous. My CC88 says, I got the poodle. Yay. What do you mean? Oh, I got it. My CC88 says, I like the dog thought process. Yeah, the sniff. Yeah, that's the poodle. You got the poodle emoji. Now I get it. Daniel says, there is an analogy with normal jobs. You can be friendly with a higher manager, even friends, but there's a power imbalance. But you need to be aware of that and not ask too much. Yeah, but that's in a job scenario if you have a boss. But sales associate and you as a customer, there's no power really. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, you're not the boss of them. They're not the boss of you. It's a bit different than internally when you both are working for the same company and one might be in a higher position than you. That's a different scenario. Jesus says, dogs hate me. They always bark at me. I guess they're scared of me because I'm tall. Orange Peel says, I was always taught there are no friends in business. You can be friendly, but there will always be a power imbalance. Georgina Monshine says, it is something magical when a friendship is made. When it's born, not made, because made sounds artificial. When a friendship is born, that is magical. I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. Thumb up this video, subscribe to my channel, become a member or patron today, and get your names listed at the end of every credit roll, amongst many other perks. Don't forget to never give up on love. I'll see you all soon. Take care. Bye.